Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another monthly favorites. So in today's video I am sharing some of my favorite things from the month of June. I have some books, some entertainment, some beauty, and a drink. So without further ado, let's get started. It's hard to believe that it's already July and I feel like I say this every month, but this year is flying by. But I still managed to read 2 books in the month of June. The first is The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. I rented the ebooks from the library, so I don't have physical copies to hold up, so I'll put the covers somewhere. But The Girl Before was about this house that was very tech driven, like a smart home, but to the max, doesn't exist nowadays, but it was this rental house that you had to fill out all of these questions to live in this house, and the final step was you met the architect, and he would have the final say and either approve or deny who he wanted to live there. So it was the story of Jane, and she was living there in the present tense, and then in the past Emma was living there, and Emma died, and Jane basically tries to figure out what happened, and it was really, really good. It was a really quick read. I think I read it in about a week, and it's going to be a movie, and I think Ron Howard is producing it or something, but I think it'll make for a good movie, and it was a really good book. So I would recommend it. It was dark, but I feel like I've conditioned myself to be used to those types of books. But I really enjoyed it. I think I heard about both of these books on Young House Love has a podcast. They do a We're Digging segment, and they recommend books, which I listen to it every week, so I hear a lot of recommendations, and then as soon as I hear a book that sounds interesting, I add it to my wish list on chapters, and then use that list to go through the library, the ebook library that's an Ontario-wide thing, and then just put a bunch of books on hold at the same time because they have a wait list, and then read them as they come up. But so then the next one, I believe also was from Young House Lab has a podcast, is called The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. So this was a bit more Gone Girl ish. So it's about a husband and wife, and they are having dinner at their next door neighbor's house. They have a young daughter, 5-month-old maybe? She's a baby, or 4-month-old or something like that. But when, and their babysitter cancels, so they leave the baby next door and just take a monitor while they're having dinner, and they check on her every half hour and rotate and stuff like that. But by the time they get back at the end of the night, the baby's gone. And it's kind of trying to figure out the who did it. Was one of the parents in on it? It goes from the different perspectives of the parents, and then there's the detective, and so the detective is I think one of them did it, and so you kind of see how the mom might have done it or how the dad might have done it, and then it ends up there's all these twists and turns, and then you find out who did it, and it's crazy. But it's a really good book. I checked to see if that one was going to be a movie, and there are fan trailers on YouTube, but nothing that I could find. But the author is Canadian, so I would recommend reading it. So next for entertainment, I was very entertained this month, and I actually had things that I'm saving for next month because I had so many things for this category, and I don't want it to just be entertainment. So first is the Disney Fairy Tale Weddings. That business now has a show on ABC Spark. So each episode features 2 couples, and they get married or engaged. There's a couple different ones, but I love weddings and I love Disney, and I'm jealous of all the people that are getting Disney weddings because that's a little bit out of my price range. And I know that they have affordable ones, so don't be you could still do it, but it's fine. I never thought that it was going to be a Disney wedding, but it's a really good show, and I like it, and it makes me cry because I'm a sap. But it's really cool to see the different types of weddings and the restaurants that they use for the receptions and stuff like that. The first episode, a couple got married on Main Street, in the middle of the night. The wedding was at like midnight or something, and like I don't even want to know how much this wedding cost, because the park was closed. They had their own happily ever after fireworks, but the reception was at Tony's Town Square, and it did not look like that. Like they completely transformed it. Like it's amazing. But I think there's been 3 episodes. It's on Mondays at 8, I think, but we just record it and then watch it whenever. But I would recommend that. Next, you will know what this favorite is if you watch the weekend vlog from a few weekends ago. I will put it in a card up there if you want to check it out. But we surprised my sister with, my parents did. I got to be in on the surprise and we got her something there, but my parents surprised my sister with tickets for Wicked, the musical, which is one of my favorite musicals. I believe I did a blog post called like my 5 favorite musicals or something like that, and it was on there. I did that a while ago, so I'll put a link to that blog post down below, and I'll also have it in the coordinating blog post. But it is like my favorite musical. That's the 3rd time I've seen it, and I can sing like every word, like I'm just mouthing along as I'm watching it, but so good. And we got her, she wanted a t-shirt, so that was what Ethan and I got her for her birthday. But it was really fun surprising her, and it was really great going to see it again. I love it. I've seen it in New York. That's the only musical I've seen in New York, and I've seen it in Toronto twice. But if you think The Wicked Witch of the West is scary from seeing The Wizard of Oz, give Wicked a try. And I've tried to read the book and I can't get through it, but I love the musical. So it's a favorite always, but especially. And I was listening to the music, like getting ready for it, like in secret, so Alex didn't hear it. Next is a podcast that I flew through in June. 2 seasons. It's a true crime podcast that's called Accused. So each season it focuses on a different like case, a cold case basically. So forgive me if I get the names wrong. I will put them in. The first season is the Beth Andes case, I believe. So she was killed in the 70s, I think. And they thought that her boyfriend did it, and he was tried and was found not guilty, and then the family, then it went to another court, and he was still found not guilty, and just it kind of is serial, that it kind of investigates who might have done it, who else could have been a suspect, and it was really interesting. I think it was 8 episodes. Both seasons were 8 episodes, and then the second season was Retha something, I can't remember the last name, but she lived in a town that was close to where the I don't want to say author, the host of the show lives. She knows the area, and it took place about 10 years later, but the woman was older, so a lot of her friends and, well, I guess people who knew her at that time had passed away, but she was murdered in her home, and the man that they thought did it did go to jail for 30 something years, and he was released, but the evidence didn't really show that he did it. They just blamed it on him and arrested him, and he paid 30 years in jail for it, but it just kind of goes into, again, who might have done it. I don't want to spoil it, but the endings were a little underwhelming, but if you've listened to Serial, you're not new to that, but it was really interesting, and I've found all these other true crime podcasts that I have on my list to listen to, because it's really interesting. So I would recommend that if you like Serial, Up and Vanish, stuff like that. Next is Queer Eye on Netflix, and I feel like I am the last person in the world to have watched it, but I love it. I went to my cousin's house a few weekends ago. Actually, that's in the same weekend vlog as when I went to go see Wicked, and she was like, you have to watch this. And so we watched the first episode, and I was following all of them on Instagram, I love this. And then we watched every episode except for 2 of the first season, and then I still have the second season, but I'm trying to like hold out because I don't want it to be over. But yeah, they are such good people, and I just love them all. I think Anthony might be my favorite because he looks like a young John Mayer, and just like the food and wine. I don't know, what would their like specialty, I guess. But I never watched the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, but it's kind of like a makeover, more than a makeover. So it's 5 gay guys, and they all have like a specialty, I guess. So one's food and wine, one's culture, one's design, one is grooming, and one is fashion. And they make over someone's life, and it is heartwarming and wonderful, and I love it. And then the next, I like the next 2 I put in entertainment, but I feel like they could be like a lifestyle or something, kind of like section. So Ethan and I recently got a Sonos speaker from Best Buy. It was like refurbished, or like it was an open box, so it was on more of a sale than you would normally find. So it's just over there. We have it set up in our room, and I really like having it, like, just to have something that's not like it playing on your computer, that kind of fills the room a little bit better. And it has an app that connects with Spotify, so we've been listening to it as we fall asleep, and it has a sleep timer, and it's just so nice that I can see us, when we have our house, getting multiples of them, because when you have multiples you can like link them to all be playing the same stuff like around the house, or you can have like one room playing this and one room playing that kind of thing. But we've been using like the genre playlist from, like, there's different genre playlists through Spotify, and we've been going through the sleep one. But one that I wanted to mention specifically is the acoustic summer playlist, which is really nice and kind of like mellow, but at the same time like is good songs and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend both of those. And the Sonos speakers can be expensive, so I would suggest looking at like Best Buy or someplace like that that might have an open box deal on some of them, because it was something that we had been looking at for a long time, so it was nice to get a bit of a deal on it. Next is beauty, and I am talking about the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Eyebrow Pencil in Universal Taupe. I don't remember for the life of me where I got this, and I've had it in my makeup bag for a really long time, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, why don't I start using this? So I don't know, my brows are a little crazy, but I feel like this looks more natural than what I've been using before, was just like a brown eyeshadow and just putting that in, and then using a comb to kind of brush them out, and then a brow gel. So it's same sort of thing as like a Anastasia Beverly Hills one, which I eventually would like to purchase, but for now this is fine. So it just is a little twist up stick which has some brow on it, and the harder you push, the darker the color. So, but I've just been going in very light because I'm still figuring it out, but I feel like it looks a bit more natural and just helps to fill it in. So I just like draw it on and then kind of brush it out, blend it out a little bit, and then go over with brow gel. But I would definitely recommend it, and I think it would be less expensive than the Anastasia one, but I don't know where I got it. I think I got it in either like an Ipsy or a FabFitFun or something. I don't know, but it's been in my makeup bag for a long time, so I'm using it. And then the last thing is a drink that I have right here. It is a, I can't figure out with the camera which way to go. So it is the Very Berry Hibiscus Lemonade from Starbucks. It is technically a refresher. It is sweet, so if you don't like overly sweet stuff, you might not like it, but I love it. It's nice to find something that's like not super sweet, like it's not going to be there's not going to be as much sugar in it as there would be like the frozen lemonades from like Tim Hortons, but it is so refreshing. Especially, it's been so hot the last like week and a half. And this is just thirst quenching, like refreshing, cold. I really, really like it. That this is my second one. I got one last Saturday and got one today, Saturday. And this is a venti, but I would very much recommend it. It has blackberries, lemonade, and hibiscus syrup, I guess. And then it has a caffeine or coffee extract. It doesn't taste like coffee, but it's supposed to have some caffeine to like perk you up. But I would definitely recommend it. Whew, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my favorites from the month of June. Let me know in the comments what you enjoyed, because I would love to know. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, welcome, and I hope you will consider subscribing. It would mean a ton to me, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.